start with your line, usual line, and
I don't have a line.
just
I don't
come
have a
on.
line.
Hey, party people, that's your line, right?
Hello, party people. Today we're doing some test. What do you want to call it? Podcast kind of thing. It's like a podcast.
It's a collaboration, like a small.
Okay.
It's kind of like a fun talk. That's all. It's just interaction and just have fun. Just talk about things and actually serious things as well, because we're going to start talking about some serious topics and then probably transition over to something more trivial. So, yeah, go ahead, bro. Yeah, you can introduce the first topic. Yeah.
Introduce it. Well, first I'll say, you guys might know this person over here to the right on my screen. They're from, what is it? Exploring Space. Is that the screen name?
Oh yeah. So I have a YouTube channel, guys. It's from Exploring Space, and he's gonna, if we post this video, he's gonna attach my YouTube link down below. So yeah, and I have some traveling.
You want to upload it yourself as well, or you're good?
No, for me, I can upload it as well. That's
up to you. Yeah, it's up to you. And some of you might know me from my 16,000 video views from a PlayStation 5 thing. From TonyCouldveBeen on YouTube. I'm on all the social media. The only problem is I don't use them as often. So like, if you send me a message there, I'm probably not gonna get it unless it's a YouTube comment. But I do accept PlayStation Network comments as well. So just to get things started, we're starting with a couple of topics that we're discussing, and one of them, in a timely manner, at least a time when no one can shut up about it, but we're not supposed to, because it's a pretty serious matter. We're just going to talk a little about COVID-19. And do you have anything to say? You want to start off?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first and foremost, I'm in the tri-state area. I'm not going to mention which particular state, but I've heard many people say that, we're in a really good state and this and that. And the fact is, of course, we are in a better state. I don't know good or bad because it's relative. But for certain, it's not over yet. So just the fact that if you're too relaxed about it and haven't really got proper immune boost or something like that, right? Then if it can be something serious if you contract it and if you have those health issues. So it's still out there, and we got to take it seriously. Yeah, that's. I'm going to start off with that, and then go ahead. You can introduce some of your restrictions and preventive measures you've taken over the past few years, and how we still need to carry on with that, at least some of that, or at least get the vaccination, and keep up to date with the boosters. Very important. So go ahead.
Well, me myself am in Connecticut, and Connecticut, I would say, it was one of the more safer, I guess, for lack of a better term. It was more mild in terms of the cases. Obviously, any number of cases is alarming, but Connecticut was pretty good about that. But like at the same time, I don't feel like it's a fair comparison, because like if Connecticut had as many people as like New York or whatever, I feel like the numbers would be appropriately scaled. But because Connecticut's such a small population, it's like what 5% of Connecticut might only be like I don't know, 50,000 people or whatever.
Yeah, it's a great point. And since you mentioned, I'm gonna say it out, like where exactly I am. I'm in Jersey right now, and the reason I'm saying it is because right now, what you said, that Connecticut is not very populated, but on the other hand, Jersey, I just recently learned, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, that it's the most densely populated state of the U.S. So being in Jersey, and I'm a regular gym goer, right? So, but having said that, I am up to date on my boosters, and I usually try to follow the scientific approach. So right now, there's no masks. The mask mandate are all kind of gone. But having said that, you still got to be careful. Like, especially if you have symptoms, you got to isolate yourself. It's very, very important. And a lot of people, I don't think they're doing that properly, or get tested, because I remember that, since I go to the gym on a regular basis, right, before I got my booster, I used to get tested every 10 to 14 days. And it's pretty easy because in Jersey, there's something called Super Fresh, and you can just go and get tested, especially at nighttime. You don't really have long queues at that time. So I would say if you haven't gotten the vaccinations and you've never gotten COVID no exposure at all, if you have symptoms, you got to go get tested before you expose yourself to the public. It's just basic measures because nobody's really wearing a mask anymore. Like a lot of people are. I beg your pardon here. So to rephrase myself, a lot of people are, but then again, nobody really is diligent about it anymore, really. Well, many people I know, they're not really. So, yeah, it's very important to get tested if you have any symptoms, if you expose yourself. Just try to follow the basic logic and common sense. That's all I can say.
Yeah, in terms of safety, I don't think anyone's really addressed this, but it might seem somewhat trivial to some people. But like, if you're getting a tattoo, for example, I would not recommend going somewhere that you didn't trust, because obviously, you know, the syringe or whatever, the needle or whatever, is in contact with other people's blood, and it can be transmitted. And obviously, that's not a common way of transmitting the virus, but it still can happen. And I would say, like, if you're shooting up or something, as ridiculous as it sounds, you probably don't care about the virus. But like, if you are, that's obviously not only that, it just compounds the number of problems that could result with. Then again, if you're doing drugs, then you probably don't care about the virus.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's not just COVID-19. Actually, any pathogen, any virus, is highly dangerous. So, any point in time, that kind of stuff like syringes and drugs and needles and stuff, you've got to be careful regardless, of any period of time. Like I'll give you a small example. I go to the gym on a regular basis, fairly on a regular basis, right? And I have had several injuries over the years, right? And usually in the gym, I would say I really hope that in the gym, people only come if they're okay and they don't really show up if they feel under the weather or something. It's very, very important because you don't know who has what. And the other thing I really want to impose very highly, if this video is being viewed by any gym owner or manager or something, right? And I know they're not going to like this. Just do the vaccine card mandate. Very, very important. It's just something. And I've tried to talk to my gym about this, and they don't want to do this. Like it's the basic thing that you can do, just because it's very difficult to work out. And I'll tell you one other thing. Okay, so even during the heart of the pandemic, I used to wear the mask as much as I could. In the gym, I used to see most of the time people wearing the mask under the nose. At that time, there was no vaccination. It was the Delta, which was way more virulent than the Omicron, the BA2 that you have. And we will talk about that later on, the virulence and stuff and exposure around the immunity, natural versus artificial, that you can have. But in that period of time, I used to see so many people, right? The mask going out of the nose, and I still see that. And it's okay right now because we have the vaccinations and the booster and stuff, but it's just very important. Like any kind of owner or manager, they strictly impose the fact that you got to upload and show a vaccination card. It's very easy because whenever you go to any gym, right, you usually scan your barcode, right, and automatically it pulls up all your data, and they can see it on the screen. All they really need to check is you have to do a tick whether somebody has uploaded or not. At least the 2 vaccinations, even if not the booster, right? And I really, really request everyone to do this. Any gym goer manager, restaurant owner and stuff, because this is, my friends recently went to Hawaii, and Hawaii, I think, strictly follows this. At least they were following it like a few months ago. So I would say, please, again, I strongly urge everyone to make sure that you request all your members to upload the vaccination cards. It shouldn't always be just about the money, especially in the gym, when you don't know who's coming from where.
Yeah, like you were saying with the Hawaii trip, like that's a lot of hours on the plane. Like Because like it's
Yeah.
in like the middle of the ocean, right? There's nowhere nearby to land, is there?
No, no, yeah. It's an island country. No, I'm not just talking about the plane. In Hawaii itself, they
Oh, okay.
strongly follow it, right? If you go to like a bar or restaurant, because that's what
Yeah.
they told me, you got to show the vaccination card, otherwise they won't let you in. And that is just a basic thing that people can do. You know, it's funny because okay, so I recently came down from Arizona, right? In Arizona, people are even more careless, honestly. And it's and again, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm viewing it the wrong way. Maybe there's things I don't know. But from what I've seen, the East Coast is actually way more diligent about restrictions imposed to curb the virus down than states like Arizona. And I remember, I'm not going to name the gym, but I called up this gym, okay, and I asked, and I called them in the morning because I knew that the manager is going to be there, and I asked the manager that, still it's not gone, right? So why are you not um, putting a mask mandate? Not just that, I'll tell you one other thing. They used to check the temperature, right? They stopped that as well. That's the basic thing you should do: the temperature and the blood oxygen level. It's very simple. And these gyms are worth billions of dollars and restaurants and stuff. You just need a oximeter and a thermometer. That's all you need because it can detect immediately if there's a fluctuation in your temperature and a blood oxygen level. So I asked them to at least do that. And I think I mentioned the vaccine, uploading the vaccination card. And he kind of laughed. And he said, "No, we're not doing any of that nonsense. We just ask people to have a healthy life." And he literally said that. And he's actually, a manager of a decently big gym. And he said, he literally told me that, we just advise our customers to lead a healthy life with healthy nutrition and diet, and automatically you're going to be all right. And that is probably one of the dumbest things that you can say, when you're not asking anyone to get vaccinated and saying you'll be all right if you take the vitamins and have a healthy diet and vitamin D and sunlight and all that. So yeah, I mean, this is what people's mindsets are. No wonder that states still have a high rate of COVID contractions because there's immunity. Yeah.
I feel like even on the West Coast, so I understand California is probably, I would assume, relatively liberal, and in turn relatively Democrat. But it is in an area like New York or California, or certain parts of California, there's just too many fucking people. Like there's way too many people to control all that. Like even if you did enact like some sort of quarantine, like who's enforcing it? Like who's gonna enforce that quarantine among how many thousands of people? Now, I could understand, like, this might sound a little bit too much to some people. There were times during this pandemic I thought that regardless of what state you were in, there should have been martial law. That's just me personally. So, like, I think, like, no one's going to listen to you unless you have a weapon. That's all I'm saying. I don't know, just say it.
I mean, I don't know about the martial law, to be honest. Like, I mean, I still believe in the freedom of speech. And the thing is, there's one thing, okay, so this actually reminds me of a very simple yet very true statement about how you behave in times of COVID-19. So before, right now it's different, right? It's reaching the endemic phase and with all the immunizations, and also with Omicron, by the way, it's a lot milder version, right? So apparently, scientifically, it's been seen that if you actually get Omicron, the milder disease, and you get natural immunity, it's far better than any kind of immunization. But before, it was never like that, right? So, and when people used to act the way they acted, there was a simple statement by someone. I'm again not going to take a name, a very famous person, said that I understand that you're saying freedom of speech, but at the end of the day, it's not just about you. How you act and how you carry out yourself in public, like without any preventive measures and stuff, will affect the people around you. So it's no longer just your freedom; it's actually you with all the people you're interacting with and all the people they're interacting with. So literally, it's a chain reaction. So you have to understand it from that point of view. So it's no longer really. So the martial law, I think, is still too strict, but you got to make sure that even if you're not wearing a mask or something, right, you got to get tested every few days, and it's the basic common sense. You got to apply the basic common sense there.
I don't know what else. I wouldn't say the topic's been saturated because like it shouldn't be saturated in all respect, but like I don't know what else is there to share about COVID-19. You think? And what's something to share that most people may or may not know?
One thing I got to strongly urge: stop the nonsense of anti-vaccine protest. Please stop that nonsense.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Sorry, bro.
I was just gonna make a reference to a recent incident in a basketball game. So Kyrie Irving is a very outspoken person who does not want to be vaccinated, and because of that, he is only allowed to play home games with the Brooklyn Nets, the team he's on. The problem is he sat in Madison Square Garden with the New York Knicks. Both those teams are in New York, and it's like he was able to sit there being unvaccinated because he was nearby, and that was okay because he wasn't playing. So like, I don't know what the solution to that is, but it does make you think. It makes you think like, wow, maybe the system isn't perfect right now. Will it ever be? I'm not sure.
So here's another thing, though, to what you said. Right now, after Omicron, things have changed a lot because it was so highly transmissible, and the subvariant BA2 right now. I don't know how many of the viewers will actually follow the tracking of the different variants, kind of spawning out of each other. So before Omicron, right, if you're not vaccinated, it's dangerous. After Omicron, if you actually contracted, naturally recovered, you too have really good immunity right now, at least for the next few months, better than the booster. But for people who have never been vaccinated and never contracted Omicron, they essentially have no, let me put it this way, it's not immunity. They don't have any kind of interaction with the virus. So the immune system doesn't know anything about the virus. And for those people, it's very dangerous. So, and again, I don't know how many people watching this video will know about how the immune system actually reacts. Like, just like RAM and ROM, there's a long-term immune memory and the short-term immune memory. So how the vaccinations and the natural immunizations work. But if you understand that, you will know what I'm talking about. And for those kind of people who have never been, the immune system has never encountered the virus, it's very dangerous because you don't know how it's going to react. And that's where the concern is.
I think, like, are people even paying attention to like beyond secondary contact? Are people even discussing tertiary contact or whatever the quadratic or whatever the next one is? It's just like, I understand it's hard to keep track of, but like, if you have it, like, it's sort of like an STD. If you have it, it's only common sense and polite to just say, hey, I had this. It was found out. I was at the doctor. They told me I had this just in case because I know we had sex. Like, just right. You might want to get yourself checked out. Now, why can't that same mentality be towards the virus?
Absolutely, yeah. If you, I would say, please, again, if you are positive, don't ignore that. That's like very bad. Like if you're sick under the weather and you already got tested and you're negative, then that's okay. Because there can be 100 different reasons why you're under the weather, right? It can be a flu or whatever. But if you're positive and you ignore that and just go out in public anyways, that's horrible, I have to say. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I understand that. Like, maybe that was only half example, but like, yeah. So like, the logic would be you don't have sex with anyone else until you either get treated or whatever. As far as I know, there is no cure to any STD, is there? I mean, there's treatment, but like,
well, no, there's certain ones. Obviously, it's curable. I mean, I don't know. I have to do some research. I don't know, but there are certain ones, like certain viruses, which doesn't have a cure.
I think syphilis, right? Isn't that curable? I think it is.
I have to see the treatment plan. Not sure, like.
But like I was saying, yeah, it's I understand, like, because the logic would be just don't have sex with anyone until you're ready. But like when you're walking around with the virus, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you're
Common
doing
sense.
things you would be doing in normal everyday life. But the problem is nobody else knows you have the virus. So I don't know.
Right, and the other thing is, it's not that difficult to get tested anymore, especially as of right now. People don't really care that much, so I don't think you'll have long lines at the pharmacies anymore. So if you're under the weather, right, just go and get tested, and act accordingly.
I know there was a joke about this. Like, maybe it was a serious topic. I don't know, but they said someone asked, "Can you spread the virus while having sex with someone?" And their response was, "If you're kissing them, then yes. But any other movement, whatever, I don't know. I didn't understand the logic behind it because like you're still within close proximity of each other. So I don't know.
It's
You're
an
like,
aerially transmitted virus, so as long as you're breathing and you're emitting out. Now the thing is, okay, so there are other things as well here. So depending on immunity, right? If you're not infected, if you have the virus but your nasal load doesn't have the virus, then technically you can't give it, right? So you have to again approach it from a scientific standpoint. So just because you have the virus doesn't mean you're transmit it. But if you have the virus and if you're congested and you're sneezing, that means the nasal load will have the virus, and that way anyone breathing that is going to come in and catch it. So, but then the kissing part, obviously, your saliva will have more virus. So it's just common sense. So just wear a mask if you're sick and if you think you have the virus. So
well, both sexual partners should be wearing a mask, right? So like, if you're wearing a mask, there would be no kissing. So that is a solution to part of it, at least.
and the other thing is, don't kiss someone you don't know. So
Yeah.
you just get to know someone better. And
someone I know actually mentioned to me, yo man, like when the virus is over and there's gonna be all these girls out there who want to mingle and like have relations, and like on one hand, of course, that's a good thing for any male, but for anyone, any gender for that matter. But the thing is, like, I think we need that fear sometimes. We need the fear that we could die from whatever, like, or at least get really, really sick. I mean, like, as long as we have that fear, then like people aren't gonna, the majority of people aren't gonna have to do stupid shit. And
sure.
it's just very disconcerting that I understand that like the fear might be a bit like propaganda, but it would do more good than harm than rather than no one caring about spreading anything. Like I feel like that's the lesser of the two evils.
I mean, it's hard to really put it into words. Like, anything like this, it's very dangerous, obviously. And people who think that, oh, this is over and this is gonna be all right, and this and that, you shouldn't think like that, because there are millions of viruses. Like okay, so I'm not gonna go into the details and stuff, but the labs, right? Like, the speculations that came out of the Wuhan lab and this and that, right? So there are hundreds of different labs all over the world which has deadlier viruses than COVID-19. So if you think about it, right, in the future, we can easily have a deadlier virus. And if you don't know how to deal with that, if you haven't learned anything from this, then that would be a shame. So you need to understand how the virus works, and I feel everyone should get a course on pathology. It's very, very important right now. But what happened? Everyone should have, even the kids growing up, should be taught properly about pathogens, how they transmit, AVD transmission or STDs, whatever. They need to get a better grip on the courses, especially after what happened over the last 2 years. So yeah, and the funny thing is, some of the kids, really small kids, they're actually growing up with the norm, thinking that wearing masks is a norm, which is good, which is really, really good. because I know I've spoken with some people, it's my folks as well. They know kids, apparently before going to school, they're supposed to wear masks. So now that people are getting relaxed, they're not wearing a mask. They will tell their folks that, "Where's my mask? I can't go out without a mask." So it's kind of becoming the norm, which is nice. But at the same time, you need to understand how actually viruses and pathogens work. So everyone should have a course on that, I feel, because otherwise you're just bullshitting around here. So
Like with what may or may not have happened in some hidden top secret Chinese lab, I would hope that
yeah,
after this incident that there would be more preventative measures from this happening again. I would hope so, unless this is unless this is some part of like invade America or like destroy democracy, like some sort of giant scheme that like Russia and China have to like take over the world. But like, I don't know, but just like this should never have happened. And that's the worst part, is that we can't like blame one person in general. Some people enjoy blaming the entire group, but like at the end of the day, whose fault is this? Because in my opinion, the fault is human beings, not any particular group of human beings. This affects all human beings. Like, thank God this doesn't affect animals or something, as far as I know, right?
no, apparently I believe not. No, COVID-19 doesn't really affect animals. Again, I'll do some research to understand how it works, but I think the immune system is different. So,
I feel like we would have heard about it too. They were like, keep your dogs inside or something like that. Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny thing though. Like right now, with the war going on, right? All that. People are saying that if they cross like certain parts of the aerial routes, they can cause World War III, right? But it's funny that the World War III actually was COVID-19, if you think about it, because it was a war of pathogens, and I know it's a pandemic and this and that, but technically we just had like a viral war. So it's like, and if you don't learn from like a war like this, and on top of that, I noticed people saying that in some ways, they felt like the 1920 pandemic, the influenza one, certain things have not really changed because we never really learned to cope with it anyways. And that should have taught us in the first place how to cope with stuff, because at that time we didn't even have technology and stuff. But now with all this, we still didn't cope at all properly. There's so many things that were done so poorly, and hopefully.
Is there anything else we should address? You're frozen. Are you frozen? Let's say you're frozen. Testing. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Testing. We're still recording. We're still recording here. I don't know if you can hear me, but we're still recording. Okay, I'll fill up some space. Yeah. So yeah, who's your guys? All right. It appears his battery has died, and he's saying, "Hold on, let me respond to this." Are we gonna continue this video? Am I stopping here right now? Okay, that's my response. Is okay. I don't think you guys can see that chat unless I shared this window. I could do that with OBS, but I don't think I could actually. Well, I could probably do it like right in the middle of this video, but it was what can you say? Internet problems, first world problems, internet problems.
Okay.
At least we have access to internet, unlike other. I'm not going to mention in countries, but unlike other parts of the world, whatever. But did you want to? I forget what topic we left off on. No, obviously we're still talking about COVID-19, but what were we talking about? I think I don't know,
Actually,
man.
forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's fine. We can just keep going. I'll let you go. Like, what are some of the things you've learned from the pandemic? Let's talk about that. So.
I think the biggest thing would be how much we take for advantage of like very simple things that first world countries have access to. For example, I know we were just talking about this, like the internet. I mean, like everybody's fucking using the internet now. It's like, and people are wondering why shit is slower. It's because everyone's using it. There's nothing else to do. I mean, and then when like it goes down or something, people freak out because they're like, "Oh my god, I have nothing to do now. I gotta watch my YouTube."
I remember the funny thing, like when I was about to schedule my booster, for the first time, I saw Walgreens or CVS, one of the sites, saying that um, we have. It actually, I think, said something like that, a message, something along these lines. Don't quote me. That because of a huge queue, you have been placed now in the queue. Please wait your turn. So it was that amount of traffic going in, scheduling the booster at the same time. The moment Omicron hit, because everyone was afraid at the same time. So it's just funny. Yeah.
I mean,
But before that, nobody cared really. It's just the moment Omicron hit, right? Everyone was like so frantically trying to get the booster shot, as if that was the gateway to heaven or something. I don't know. Like, it's kind of great.
yeah,
So, yeah.
like one thing that happened in Connecticut in a walk-in clinic, walk-in center, or whatever, part of Yale New Haven Hospital. There were drive-through testing, and like I never imagined there would be drive-through testing for a virus, and it was just like, what happens if you don't have a car? Can you still get tested? I mean, because like seriously, like not everyone has a car. That's all I'm saying. Is like
You do a walkthrough,
I don't know, like I was tempted to say that, like, well, if you guys aren't busy right now, can I just get? I'm right here in the office. Why can't I just get the shot now? But there's all this protocol they have to go through, I guess. Understandably.
Yeah, I mean that was it's actually followed everywhere throughout the country. Yeah, I mean it's nice in a way. I totally understand that because you're reducing the contact. But yeah. Well, let's move on to something else. So let me ask you these questions as part of the interactive session. What are some of the craziest things you've heard people say about the pandemic, which is like utter nonsense and like completely dumb, you know?
Completely dumb, I would say. Like when the pandemic first started, we're talking about like at least the first couple months of so it was like technically March 2020. So yeah, around that area when spring semester was ending at the very prestigious University of Connecticut, UConn. There were students, I assume they were students, having a party, and this had become a thing. Apparently, UConn wasn't even the first place to do this. It was called COVID parties, and college students would have a party and not wear masks, not be dancing together next to each other, all this shit.
And this
And
was during pre-vaccination, right? There's nothing there,
yeah,
right, at that time?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like people were dying, and like college kids were doing this, and
God.
they started a pool. They said whoever catches COVID-19 first gets a pool of money, and it was like, wow, you guys, you should be ashamed of being in higher education because come on.
See, I mean, yeah, this just proves, like, what are you doing in college? Why are you in college if you're doing that kind of stuff? What's the point of practical application of your common sense?
I mean, it's one thing that some kids, like the older teenagers and whatnot, they're not going to have the full college experience. But like after hearing that, I was like, maybe you should not have it. Maybe that's the case.
Yeah, that is crazy. Just gonna hold on, guys. Just give me one moment. There's a kitty cat that's acting up here.
Uh-oh.
So,
I'll fill this in for you guys. I'll be the filler space. So hope you guys are doing well. Staying safe. Let me check my phone here. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. No, I thought it was someone else. I follow a couple of Twitch users. I have my own Twitch account, but obviously I don't stream on it. I shouldn't say obviously, but if you are a quote unquote veteran of my YouTube channel where this video is being posted, you'll see that I'm not a huge fan of live streaming. Obviously I'm only working with YouTube I shouldn't say obviously, but like it's not like you guys see Twitch videos of me on Twitch, but yeah, I was thinking about getting into I technically already got into it. I was thinking about getting into TikTok, but like there's this thing called YouTube Shorts. I've been getting into that. It's like, in my opinion, it's pretty much the same shit. I don't know. Maybe because I do know with TikTok videos they can go on longer, maybe for maybe like a minute or less than a minute or something like that. YouTube Shorts can only go on for like 15, 16 seconds. But
Yeah, YouTube
I'm not
Shorts is
complaining.
actually. Sorry, to interrupt, bro.
Yeah,
YouTube Shorts is going to get very popular, no question about it. Because being in the tech industry, actually, I am in the tech industry, so you can just tell they're trying to mimic,
TikTok.
TikTok and Instagram, basically stuff like that. And honestly, with so much attention deficit all around us, yeah, videos like that instead of the longer ones, obviously, we're more appealing. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I guess YouTube was trying it out. They don't want to fully commit to it. But why would you limit? I understand there has to be a certain limit to the length of the video, but at least match it with your competitors. I don't know. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, you've been posting quite a few, right? I saw, yeah.
It's believe it or not, it's harder for me to think of ideas for YouTube Shorts than it is any other video I upload. Because you can't just do one random video about something that takes more than 60 seconds to explain. So I'm not used to that. I'm not used to being in that time constraint. And I will say though, YouTube Shorts get much more views than long ass videos. I understand that, of course, but it's just the number of people viewing some of the stupidest shit I put on YouTube Shorts. I'm like, damn, people watch this stuff. Whoa, okay.
You should do lines from favorite sitcoms and shows and stuff, and just leave the viewers hanging. What's gonna come the next time, from that line or something. Yeah. I think people will like that. People always. I think the viewers really like something unfinished. Because they want to put a finish to that. I don't know. I feel there's a mystery around it that people watching those videos they kind of like.
You gonna start making some YouTube Shorts?
Probably, yeah. I mean, my videos are actually quite short, anyways. Depending on, so I do. If you guys are interested, I do travel videos, and one of the main reasons. So I started out doing the videos where I tried to show the routes without the toll, but then I realized over time, if you're going from Jersey to Connecticut, there's certain tolls it's very, very difficult to avoid. You can, certain things you can't, but certain ones you can, but it's very difficult to get a route in a map, whether you're using Waze or Google Maps, to get that kind of route. And more often than not, if the toll is $1 or $2, right, and if you already have an easy pass, you might as well take it, because some of the alternative routes, you don't want to take those because it's pretty congested and bad. So those are some of my videos. Also showing the back roads. I recently did a video where Tony was recording. Show the back roads of Connecticut to Westport. Yeah. The other day we actually went to this place, just as an addendum to this video. We went to a place, Fish and Chips, West Fair Fish and Chips in Connecticut, right? And if you guys are watching this video, right, by no means am I sponsored by them, but I really like the food, especially the fish and chips. I've had fish and chips in several places, in different parts of the US, and I can say that their fish and chips, the fish especially, tastes really fresh. At least the last few times I've had it. And
you had it in the United Kingdom too, right?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Okay.
But yeah. So, but no, the fish and chips. Last time we had the cod, right? How did you find the cod? And the West Fair.
I was under the impression that's the only fish they had. Did they actually? Because I looked at the menu. Was there other stuff? There's other seafood stuff, but I didn't see salmon. I didn't see bluefish. I didn't see tuna.
I thought that the fish changes for the fish and chips based on the day. I thought that was the case. It can be a catfish or tilapia or cod. I thought.
Can you actually pick it? Can you pick it?
No, it depends on them having the fish on that particular day.
Whatever
so
the catch of the day, right?
Right. Because the other day they mentioned that today, they told me that today is cod. So I thought that, okay, they're different on different days maybe. So
probably. Yeah. If they specifically told you, today the fish is cod, they probably do have different ones. I'd be interested though, because those times we went, wasn't it always cod? Do you remember? Was it something else?
actually don't know. That's the thing. You know, the last time I know it was caught because I asked them. But other times I don't know. But the thing is, I never experienced any fishy smell because I hate it, personally, me. And it's always been really like fresh and there's no smell at all. Have you ever felt any smell? I don't think so, right?
At that particular place in Westport? No, I have not.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, check it out. Just make sure that you carry cash. They only accept cash. So,
It's like a family business, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty decent, and also it's reasonably priced as well, I can say, because other places it's more expensive. This one, yeah. So, and we have been thinking about going to the hot pot place, right? You really want to go? Yeah, we can probably give it a shot. Like,
I mean, that's a decent amount of driving, just to warn you.
That's fine. Yeah, it's in Wallingford or something like that, right?
I think it's Wallingford. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Wallingford. Like in between, it's basically if you went halfway towards Hartford, it'd be right in the middle. Yeah. We're talking about Connecticut for those that don't know.
Go ahead, bro. If you want to elaborate, go ahead.
About what the
like Connecticut places. Yeah.
I mean, like on the topic of food, it amazes me sometimes when there's Americans and like they haven't tried like certain kind. I bet you there's people in America who have never had sushi before. And I feel like there's enough sushi restaurants around here that should not happen. But if you want to stick with what you like, that's all you. But like I need variety. I need variety.
I actually never had sushi. I don't like sushi. That's a different story. Yeah. Yeah, on the variety thing, right? So, I mean, I usually prefer. Yeah, go ahead.
This guy loves his chicken. He loves chicken. This guy, chicken is like the greatest meat.
I mean, you got it, to build stuff, like. Well, actually, no. I do love chicken a lot, but then I love fish as well. I'm a huge fan of fish, but not raw fish. I can't do that. Sushi,
I actually never noticed the smell with raw fish. I mean, maybe I'm used to it, but I never really. I don't know. It's just weird.
Maybe I have had the wrong fish from the wrong places, probably. I got to try the right stuff, like really fresh. Probably, yeah, give it a try. I love turkey as well. Turkey and I love beef stew once in a while. Not a fan of steak. I'm not a fan of bacon by any means. Pork. So, do you like bacon? You are, right?
It depends on like how it's cooked and like what it is exactly. I don't like eating things I don't know what they are. You know what I mean? Like what the ingredients are and whatnot.
Just for you guys, this guy is a huge fan of lamb, man. He's crazy about lamb. Right. Yeah.
Well, I was explaining this to one of my ex-girlfriends in Las Vegas. We were talking about food, and she was like, "Well, you should like lamb because lamb was a sacrifice to whatever the Jesus God thing or whatever it was." Yeah, I'm saying, "Oh, okay, I like it because it tastes good, not because there's a religious reference." But okay.
Right. Yeah. Actually, funny you mentioned that lamb is actually not just in Christianity, in other religions as well. Lambs and goats, they are sacrifices. It's a sacred. It's kind of weird though, but yeah. Good.
I was just gonna say I've had goat curry before. It's actually really good. I actually really liked it.
I'm not a huge fan. I tried it obviously. I'm from South Asia. Yeah. But it's pretty famous in certain European areas in the UK as well. But yeah, not a huge fan. On a separate topic, I was about to say, for anyone who hasn't been to New York, guys, if you come to New York, and if it's still there, I don't know, I'm talking about the carts, the carts which sell the gyros and stuff, on the street vendors, in New York City. Yeah, I don't know if they're still there or not, but before the pandemic, I used to go like several times, and that's some of the best food that you can have in New York City. Like,
there's like nowhere for them to add anything extra because that's just the cart limits to how much you're making,
Yeah. And if they're gone, it's kind of sad, man, because but anyways, like if they're still there, and if you find a good street vendor, and you guys have never been to New York, and you come over to the city, you got to try like a gyro or like it's Lebanese or Middle Eastern food, Turkish food. It's amazing. Even the Indian food in Queens, New York. It's literally like amazing food. So you guys should try. Yeah. But yeah, that's about it for this video, right? You want to mention anything else? Go ahead. Food, anything, any particular topic you want to talk about, or we'll just make another video.
Let's ask. Feel free for anyone watching this video to let us know what you would like to hear us talk about. Do you have any idea what you want to do next, whatever the topic is, or we're gonna figure this out later?
Now we can do, guys. What do you think? We should do fusion food, right? Like I always loved mixing food together from different cultures. I think it's gonna be nice. Fusion food. What do you think, bro?
You want to continue that here, or should we wait till next time?
Oh no, yeah, we're gonna make a separate video. Yeah, anytime soon. Okay. Yeah, separate video.
All right. Well, so we're concluding this one, but we kind of went off topic there. The first part was the COVID-19, and then we started talking about.
No, but I did mention, right, that we're going to start with COVID-19 and the transition over to trivial topics. I mentioned that.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how should we conclude this? Should we just be like?
That's fun. Yeah. Adios.
All right, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. I am stopping this recording now.